Hey
Great
everyone,
song.
welcome back to another episode of Living and Loving with yours truly, singer, songwriter, country music recording artist Monique McCall. And today I have a fantastic guest with me, businessman, entrepreneur, restaurateur, publisher, the founder and owner of the Human Capital Group, executive and life coach who is helping others to build the career in life that they love. Welcome, Mr. Roy Assad. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm
If
fantastic.
that song doesn't jazz you up, I don't know what will.
You're very kind. There's a lot of them. Maybe all that jazz would do it for you too. Na, 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 na,
What a
na,
great song. What
na,
a great
na,
song.
na, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So what is happening with you? What's going on? You're out, you're living, you're loving, you've got so much going on in your world, and you are the epitome of living and loving the life that you have led.
Well, a lot more living than loving. No, I'm just kidding. I've been doing great. It's been quite busy and it's quite fun. As you know, I enjoy everything that I do, which is really the secret to what my life is all about. But I'm very excited and very fortunate that I have this opportunity to be interviewed by you. And what I'm hearing is that you're the best interviewer that ever walked the earth. So
I
I'm
think I think you have the wrong sources, Roy. You need
you
to
are,
check
no,
your
you're great. Yeah, I've watched your podcast and you're great.
Well, thank you so much. So I'm incredibly overjoyed that you could join me because you have had such a fabulous life. I mean, even with everything, you know, you've had a lot of twists and turns, and you grew up in Syria, and I believe if I have this correct, you grew up with a single mom
Right.
during a time that was very unlikely, and you end up in the United States of America at 18 years old as an entrepreneur coming out of Syria into a whole new world where you don't even speak our language.
Right. Well, it's
Paint that
crazy.
picture for me.
Well, first of all, I didn't come in as an entrepreneur. I came in as of course, as an immigrant who
Mhm.
didn't know what the hell he was doing and what didn't speak a word of English.
But
Obviously.
once an entrepreneur, I mean, I feel that that's a mindset, and you're kind of born with that, or am I
Possibly, yeah.
inaccurate? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. After a year of working at a factory in New Jersey, I just walked into the boss and I quit. I said, I don't like what I'm doing, so I'm quitting. Of course, they spoke Spanish. I spoke Arabic. Nobody spoke English, so the communication was pretty broken. They had no idea I was quitting. I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm going. I'm bye. So
Is
anyway,
that
I
the
quit.
charade? Goodbye.
Yeah, I quit and never really. I started. My second opportunity was actually a filing person. I was filing boy for a State Farm agency in Rockefeller Center, which taught me the alphabet because I was filing papers all year. And that's where I got my start in seeing what's potentially possible for me, even though I did not have all that it takes. You know, they say check all the boxes. I didn't have any boxes checked, but the hard work and the belief of others in me obviously was the catalyst to helping me get going and get launched, if you will.
Mhm. So, in having known you for so long, you shared a lot of stories from your childhood. I'd love for you to take me back there because you came into a whole different world than how you grew up in Syria.
The
What
one
comes
thing
up for you?
the one thing that was very
Of
interesting
that?
is I thought America was full of blondes. So I arrived at
It
Jersey
isn't?
City. I arrived at Jersey City and there's not one freaking blonde in the whole city. I'm like, what's going on? Am I
See,
in
it's
the
like
right
an
place?
influence.
Did they put me in the right place?
And I'm not too far today. I'm actually coming to you from,
I know you're in New York City. That's awesome.
I'm in Hoboken, and this is the city
That's
behind me.
amazing.
There's
Yeah.
the Empire State Building.
So I lived in Jersey City for a while, but basically the impression we had when we were growing up, we were quite poor, but we were growing up thinking America was paved with gold, you know, and that dollars were left on the street because nobody cared for dollars,
Mhm.
and yes, that it was full of beautiful blondes, and I was completely misled. And I get to Jersey City, and all it was is Spanish background, African Americans, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not America. Of course, I had the reality check that there were no dollars on the street, and that I had to work for my money. But it was interesting. I have to say that it was my mom's courage, and I have to say that you got to give women a credit, because men, and I'm not saying anything against men, but men don't know how to take care of their kids and give them that. There are a few that will do that, but women are the strongest, and they believe in raising kids for a potential, and they believe in instilling in them all these qualities that you're supposed to have so that you can always succeed in life, So she single-handedly did that for us.
And what are those qualities that she instilled?
Well, one, that you work hard and that you have to have a work ethic, obviously. Number two, integrity. Number three, keeping your word. If you say that you're going to be back, then you show up. You don't like say, well, I forgot or whatever. And caring enough. It's unselfish to be unselfish. It's not about you. You got to give. You got to be a giver. As you know, Bob Berg has that book, I think, Be a Go-Giver. Yeah, Be a Go-Giver.
Yeah.
Is his book.
And you are a go-giver, and you're always giving. You have gotten to the top of your career in every aspect. You have had so many different careers. I mean, from being in business to in the business realm, insurance, and then you have other business, a social media company, and a restaurateur, multiple very successful restaurants through your career, and then a publisher, which I didn't even know that about you, Roy. I found that out. So what is the number one thing that you think has attributed to the success across the board?
There was a man who worked for State Farm. He was from South Dakota, obviously very different than New York. And he was the type of person who believed anything is possible. And he actually instilled that in me when I was in my 19-year-old, 20-year-old self. He just basically said, you can claim or you can be anything you want to be, without joining the army, thankfully. So the beauty of that is when you believe that in the possibility, then there's no limit to what you can potentially achieve. So when somebody said, why are you opening a restaurant? You've never worked in the restaurant business. I said, well, because it's possible that I can. I can. And that's how it started. I opened a clothing company. I opened a magazine. When people said, you can't really publish a magazine, I don't even know how to freaking write. But, you attract the right people, you hire the right team, you collaborate, you partner. There's always a way to do whatever it is that you want, as long as you want it bad enough, obviously.
And how much of it is you, and how much is the team?
It's almost always the team. Obviously, I have my own set of skills, and those were developed over years, but it's almost always depending on and being partners with amazing people. And that makes a huge difference in the outcome of what the business is like.
And what is it that you look for when you're hiring amazing people?
Number one, I got to get along with them. You can have an easy life with these people. Number two, integrity. Because if you have integrity and they're great people, great humans, you can always teach them anything. They could learn anything. It's a matter of, are they the type of people you want to work with, that you want to see on a daily basis, that you enjoy having lunch with? And then hopefully they come with a lot of skills, but if they don't, you can teach them the skills. And I have to say that we have 11 people working here. We get along with every one of them. Everybody gets along. We have a lunch once a month together and have a great time. It's just a joy to walk in, and it's a joy to stay, and then you almost don't want to leave. That's how fun it is here. It really is amazing.
I saw that on Facebook. I was waiting for an invite this month. I didn't get one. What do I have to do to be part of the team? Or maybe I don't fit. I don't know.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Like me.
You definitely fit, but obviously they're working here, and that's why we go out.
I know, I'm joking, but I love seeing your lunches. They look fabulously fun, and it is true that you create such an incredible culture for the people that you are working with. And I know from speaking with some of the people that have worked alongside of you, and also many of the people you've coached, that you have changed their lives. I mean, significantly. You have had so many success stories with so many people along the way where you took them from really, really difficult places and situations, and you changed their lives. And I thank you for that, Roy, because that is among one of the best gifts you can give to somebody. And I know you helped me through some hard times as well. And I thank you. And I would love for you to share one of your biggest success stories of someone who came to you in a place where it was pretty grave, and you set them up for a beautiful life, a beautiful career, and of love and happiness.
Yeah, there's so many of them that are related to business because I love business and I love growing businesses. But there was one woman who I recall, she sent me a text saying I was referred to you by, and she named somebody that I don't know, and they said that you're the only one who can help me. And I'm like, oh boy.
Wow.
Then I contacted her and I found out that she had lost her children to an agency that said she was not fit to be a mother. And her husband was divorcing her and basically leaving her high and dry. And she had a yoga practice, a private yoga practice, but she wasn't doing very well in the practice. And when we first met in a public place, she just cried for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not the type of person who likes to take those assignments on. I said, you really need a therapist. You need someone who helps you through life. And she said, no, I can't give up. You're the one. So, of course, I felt obligated almost, but I also cared enough that I want to do something. So I said, you know what, let's work together for 3 months. And we met twice a month for 3 months. And after 5 months, number one, she got her kids back. Number two, she found the love of her life. She started taking pictures with her family at a pizza place and bowling alleys. These are kids she couldn't even see. She started talking to her mother, who her mother had never talked to her for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So her whole life transformed completely in a matter of 3 to 4 months. And then her business doubled, which of course is one of the things I love doing for people. So she's on a track to do quite well, just as a small little human, right? As a human being.
Yes.
Now then we work with business.
Human being or a human doing?
Human doing, exactly. Well, human being is a lot better than human doing. But she's just an example of a simple soul who got into trouble,
Mm-hmm.
who got stuck, who got misfortune happened to them or whatever. And there was a lot more to that story, which I cannot reveal, obviously, on those interviews. But we worked with her on the changes she needed to make.
And how do you get unstuck? Where do you start when you're
Somebody
trying
once
to get
said, if you
unstuck?
find yourself in a hole, you should stop digging. That's the first thing I would do, is stop digging, because sometimes the digging goes in the wrong direction, which means you're digging a deeper hole for yourself. The key is to really have perspective. And most of the time we are outside of that hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're the third opinion. We're not a second opinion. Your brother is your second opinion. Your mom is your second opinion. I am your third opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We are detached from your emotions. So we kind of take a look at the situation and give what we believe is sound advice that, if followed, will help you get unstuck. And it's not really a secret. It's all principles that make sense.
So no secrets. You don't have any secrets for me.
No secrets. It's all great work, and it's really about doing things, and because they say contemplation will not take you anywhere. You got to start doing the work. There's work to be done. Changes. If you want to change your life, you have to change your ways. I mean, it's not that complicated.
I remember you telling me once, what was it, Roy? You always tell people to, when they get stuck, to do something different. Get out of bed on the other side.
Get on the other side of the bed, just to remind you that you're not the same old. You're no longer the old human that you were, or that you believed in. You now are a new human with different potential. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot up here, really. And, they say we have a lot of stinking thinking, and people do. Self-defeat, self-talk that's destructive. And people who are maybe in your circle that may not necessarily be cheering you on. They may be even wishing you ill, if you will.
Mhm.
So there's all kinds of forces that are working to keep you stuck or to keep you and not have the potential revealed of what you potentially can do as a human. So
And-
it's all about the humanity of people,
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the one force that can make the difference is you. Self, correct?
Yeah, you are the one.
Yes.
Yeah, it rests all on your shoulders. And I'll tell you a very brief story. Van Gogh, who's an artist, was once asked by his students, do you ever doubt that you're an artist? He said, I always doubt, but when I doubt, I paint. And when I paint, all doubt is removed. So by being in action, we don't have time to doubt. The doubt only happens when we start reflecting and thinking and wondering and not doing. And as soon as we start going, doubt is gone.
So into implementation, not contemplation.
Correct. Completely.
And
Yes, completely.
you have been implementing so much in your life, and you have done so many things, but while simultaneously doing all of those things, you have been have raised and still raising children for how many years? You have 4 children, 3 grown-up children, and then you have a young daughter who's 7 years old.
Yeah. I'm the luckiest guy to have a 7-year-old in my life at age 66.
Wow.
And no, I was not drinking when that happened. But I'll tell you that I was just in touch yesterday with my oldest daughter, and I'm scheduled a Zoom call with her for Sunday because life is so busy, and sometimes for her and for me, I just want to see how she's doing and what she's.
And that was my question. How do you manage all of this phenomenal career, helping others, changing other people's lives, and then your children as well? How do you manage all that as a single dad?
Yeah, I have to say it's called divide and conquer. I am a very structured individual.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost to a point of being completely overboard on the structure. But at the end of the day, I have 3 businesses right now that are up and running that I'm responsible for. I'm starting a 4th, and with the 4 kids, and I get my Annabelle for so many hours every week, and I spend quite a bit of time with her. But all that is on the schedule. And because everything is scheduled, there was one of the people I was teaching, he says, so do you ever have time for spontaneity? I said, I scheduled that too.
What does that look like on the calendar?
Just be spontaneous. That's all it says.
Here's the moment.
All day.
And you are very spontaneous. I've seen you handle it all. I mean, and you cook, you clean, you do everything. I mean, for your children, you take such good care of everybody in your office. So when do you have time for Roy, and what does that time look like?
I love R&R. If I go away, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go on tours. I just want to lay by the pool and have a drink come to me every so often. It's so beautiful to do that. But I also meditate in the car. I'm driving to Miami. I meditate. Mm-hmm. I have time for myself. I have the time to have a conversation with myself. But at the end of the day, really, it's all about being in love with what you're doing. Because if you're in love with what you're doing, you don't get tired.
No, you enjoy every minute, but what I just heard from you as well is that you use every minute and fill it and fill those moments with love.
Yeah.
Even if it's a drive to Miami,
you
find time.
And then if there's somebody that you should call and pick up that they need a call, you call them, You make the calls, you reach out to people. It's a beautiful thing. And again, fall in love with what you're doing and you will not get tired. The exhaustion comes because we're doing things that we're not really enjoying, we're not in love with. So in your words, living and loving, can't go on just living without loving, right? It's a lot more powerful.
Love is that extra piece of the recipe that you
That's
always
right.
have to add
That's
if it's
right.
not in
The
there.
combination is powerful.
Mhm. It is among the most powerful combination. When you get out and you live without loving, then you're not really living.
That's right. That's right.
So you have so many Royisms. You're very well known for these. What is your number one Royism?
The one that I love the most, which I help most of my business owners do, it says the greatest leader is a dealer in hope.
Hmm.
The greatest leader is a dealer in hope, not dope.
And hope.
And because without hope, people perish. They actually no longer live well. The only reason people have something to look forward to is when they have hope. So if I'm leading a team in my business and they don't have any hope, it's my responsibility. I'm not giving them the hope of what's potentially possible for them. I'm not nurturing their desire to succeed or their desire to expand and grow. I'm allowing them to suffocate.
Mm-hmm.
So me as a leader, I'm responsible to deal in hope to everyone that is in my environment.
You are the hope dealer.
Hope dealer, exactly.
And that's why that lady came to you, and she knew, and she was hopeful
She did,
because she
yeah.
knew that you were the one who could help her.
And nothing is worse than meeting a hopeless person, somebody who has no hope left.
Mm-hmm.
That's destructive.
And it's a hard place, and there's nothing wrong. A lot of people
Yeah,
get there.
yeah, we all can fall into that space.
Mm-hmm. It's how we get out of it.
And who is there to give us that helpful hand or the patience to get us out of that mire that we get into, the mud?
Mm-hmm. And that's always a good point to remember, is that we're not alone in this. There is always someone there who is willing to help. And I know that you are that person, Roy. You do so much for so many, not only helping in, with your team at work and your children, and as well as being a life and executive coach, but you also give back so much in the community. And we are very, very grateful for that. I know that you're a part of so many organizations.
Thank you.
Yes. And so thank you so much for the hard work. And I know that that also attributes to a lot of your success as well, because I firmly believe that it's in the giving back that allows us to grow even further. I have a friend of mine who used to say, Monique, when things are tough, go out and put some quarters in people's expired meters, and you're going to feel a lot better.
That's right. Yeah. Well, when you have the ability or the time to serve,
Mm-hmm.
when you start serving, you actually everything else diminishes. That's not important to you, and the contribution you make when you serve is enormous, because you don't know whose life you're touching.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea who you encouraged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our responsibility is, as you said, is to give back, is to really step in and fill a void when there is one. And when you fill that void, all of a sudden everything changes in that organization or that particular group that you joined.
And sometimes it fills a void in you.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wrote a small article that says, don't join a board and just sit there. Because that's what a lot of people do. They join the board and they sit back and like, okay, I'm on the board. It's like, really? That's not serving. You got to really dive in and see, how can I make a difference, right?
What can I do to really get in and help? It's okay to listen, but be proactive.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. So, Roy.
Yes.
I am so blessed that you joined me today.
Thank you.
And I know that you have a team that is waiting on you, and so many people. And before I let you go, because you've shared so many wonderful messages today about living and loving in your life, I always ask all of my guests one question. because I always like to know the answer to this question. Being a country music singer-songwriter and my passion and love for music and living and loving in that artistic space, I always want to know, what is the one song that speaks to your heart and sums up the essence of your being?
Well, I love many songs. When I was young, I fell in love with Olivia Newton-John.
What man didn't?
I just came to the States, and her picture was on my wall, and I can't remember the song that I used to love from her. But I also love what's his name? That New Jersey guy, it's Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen, yes.
About the fire, and where there's a fire, there's a spark. Where there's I can't remember the exact words of the song. It's about that.
We can't start.
I'm sorry.
What's the title of the song?
Something about where there's a fire, there's a spark, or there's a spark and there's a fire. Don't start a fire
without a spark,
without
right?
a spark, yeah.
I was going to ask you to sing it for me, but if you don't know all the words, then
don't do that. But if you really think about it, songs do inspire people. Obviously, the lyrics more than anything. A lot of people don't understand the lyrics most of the time. They don't even listen for the lyrics. But we human beings, if we truly understand the power and the value of the human soul, the human spirit, that human being that we're sitting next to, that human being that we're working with, that human being that I just ran into at the grocery store, who you have no idea what they're dealing with, right? You don't have any idea. But if you can understand the value of that and appreciate that value and be the agent of change, be the agent to cause a difference, be the one who will make a difference in that person's life, your life is completely rewarded because of what you contributed. The thing is, we're almost sometimes half asleep. We don't even know that this person is suffering. We don't know that this person is struggling because we're so self-absorbed and self-occupied. And really, selfless is what we're after. We need to be selfless.
I firmly agree. I wrote a song which is so appropriate for this time of year, but I love to listen to it throughout the year. I was inspired because this time of year, during the holidays, Christmas time, everyone just seems to be in a happier place. But why? It's just a mindset of it being the holidays and this joyous time. But really, we can live like every day is Christmas.
That's right.
So I have a song, Every Day is Christmas by Monique McCall.
I've heard it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's pretty much summing up, what you just said. Spend time with family and friends. It's a smile. Sometimes just smiling at somebody at the grocery store or buying someone a coffee in line can change the trajectory of their day, their year. You just don't know what someone's going through. And every opportunity, every place you go is an opportunity to help someone or do something special and make a change.
So I have a request that I would like to air. You know which song I'm going to request, right?
I know which song you're going to request. Are you going to ask me to sing something? Is that where you're headed with all this, Roy?
Well, that's a possibility, but release the damn thing. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, which song?
The Shishi song.
Oh, the Shishi song. My goodness. You want me to release that one? All right.
I'm telling you, I recognize that is a hit, and you haven't bought my theory about it. But there's so many people that know Palm Beach as a destination, and they understand exactly what your words mean.
Yes.
I think if you put it out there, superstar.
You know what, Roy? I'm going to do that just for you. That one's coming up next. I got 3 new songs I just recorded in Atlanta, but that's my promise to you today. You heard me live, recorded on air. I'm going to get that song out there. I'm going to do a full rendition and version of it and go back to Atlanta and record that one coming up soon just for you, buddy.
And that will go platinum.
I'm holding you to that. If it doesn't,
I'll do everything in my power to make sure that happens.
You better. Everyone heard this now. Roy Assad is
It's on
making my
tape.
song go platinum.
It's on the record.
Well, that's not on your list. You haven't done that yet. So, you only have that left to do. Although I know your daughter is a very accomplished singer-songwriter.
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yes, she's following in daddy's footsteps, being the ultimate entrepreneur.
Well, she doesn't get the talent from me, let's put it this way. I know she gets the courage from me, but the talent is from her mom.
Well, that's a lethal combination, courage and talent.
That's true.
When you combine the two and mix them well and admit it into the world, you get Roy Assad. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Roy. Such a gift, such a blessing. So many great messages, living and loving. Everyone, make sure you get out and you live and love like Roy Assad. You can check him out at Roy, is it humancapitalpb.com?
Correct.
If you want to live and love like Roy Assad, learn lessons from Roy Assad, you can find it there. Thank you again, Roy.
Well,
in Roy's words, keep your word.
That's right. And thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Of course. It was a gift to me. I am so blessed to know you. And thank you again for everything that you have done for me, my family, and others. I'm forever grateful.
I'm grateful to you. Thank you.
Love you, Roy.
Bye.
Everyone, don't say bye yet.
Oh.
I got to sum this up because it's brilliant. Everyone, keep your word.
That's right.
Be selfless. Have integrity. And remember, anything is possible.
That's right.
Don't have contemplation, but have implementation.
Yeah, you got it all.
I got it all. Yes, I get an A. Thank you so much, everyone. Get out, live and love today. It's a beautiful holiday season. Live like it's the holidays all the time. Again, I'm Monique McCall, country music singer, songwriter, recording artist. You can catch me here every other Thursday at 4 p.m. Have a beautiful, blessed day and go make dreams come true. Big hugs for y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.